2023 was a fantastic year for games. Not so fantastic for my wallet. As someone who is annoyingly frugal, this had to be an outstanding period for me to buy into the hype. Spoiler, it was. It had a great mix of games I've been meaning to play and even some old favorites. But I won't just be talking about them. No, that's too safe. I'm gonna be ranking them from worst to best. I apologize in advance for setting someone off with my very non-controversial opinions. I swear I'm not that dramatic. Sometimes. Obvious spoiler warning for anything you'll see on the list. No final boss ending jump scares, but you know, you have been warned. But anyway, here are all the games I've played in 2023, ranked. Hey, have you heard about this niche game called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch family of systems, which apparently has games? This title is dead last because I was so over this game in 2023, but the final wave of DLC tracks were enough for me to come crawling back. It was only the type of thing I'd play with friends if the situation called for it. I simply did not have the time to get all the trophies for all the new cups in all the CCs. That sounds like torture. But yeah, the Booster Course Pass finally concluded at the end of this year, which is crazy since it was revealed only a year ago? Like, time? Hello? Now we literally have the most complete Mario Kart ever. It's kinda overwhelming. I basically booted up 8 Deluxe just to check out the new tracks, which ranged from alarmingly basic to, oh wow, this is kinda cool. I'm glad to see this game getting so much love over the years, but I can definitely say on behalf of the entire Nintendo fanbase, it's time for a brand new Mario Kart game. I will scream if they bring out Mario Kart 8 Complete Edition. So because Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl went down as they were, I wanted to experience Gen 4 the original way. But how is this possible if I already played Pearl as a kid? Well, let's just say my child brain did not understand how to play the Pocket Monster game, and I was naughty enough to have some questionable Pokemon and items, plus my copy of Platinum still has my sister's save file on it, both of which I can't bear to erase, so Diamond is like the long-lost Sinnoh game I never had. And believe it or not, in 2023, it's one of the few retro Pokemon games that were not dummy expensive. A dying species, so I had to jump on it before people were like, oh yes, I would love to buy another DS game for $100. The engine is famously slow, but it's surprisingly not as excruciating as people say. But that's likely the nostalgia talking. The surfing speed is unacceptable though. What is this? This is my brain off game because I pretty much know what to expect in the year 2023. It's not the most engaging, but I really want to have a usable Sinnoh team finally. Yes, the one with only 2 fire types. I chose Chimchar for a reason. It's just a nice trip down memory lane. If only the remakes did it justice. Sorry, I had to. I bet you never thought I'd talk about a mobile game, but what can I say other than Pokemon Go? I definitely categorize myself as a hardcore casual. I'm not deep entrenched into the countless infographics, and it also took me way too long to figure out that 3-star Pokemon exist. I've been playing nearly every single day since launch, even through COVID, and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon because I'd like to have a living deck someday, please. I'm not a Niantic sheep though. My cheapness is too strong to give in. I've spent virtually zero money dollars on this app, aside from accidentally spending $5 of Pokecoins at Uniqlo. Long story. The new fun thing I do is instead of transferring my extras into the ether, I transfer them to Pokemon Home, which I willingly pay for, then use Wonder Trade in the GTS to get new Pokemon in order to make a living dex on that app. It's a whole thing. Collecting Pokemon just has me hooked, okay? I can't help it. Pokemon Go is one of those games where you forget why you keep playing, but are too prideful to give up. So yay apps with microtransactions! 5 years after I got my Switch, I finally bought a Pokemon game. This franchise could not catch a break with all the controversies, and it was disappointing to witness as a fan. I've watched all the reviews, read all the top 10 lists, and most of the Switch Pokemon games always had some caveat that deterred me from buying them. But I heard that Legends Arceus was unanimously the best one out of all of them. The standards are low, but I had no choice but to take their word on it. And after beating the main story, I had fun. Was it completely mind-blowing? No. But was it genuinely fun? Yes, for sure. There were still some questionable graphics and animation here and there, but nothing as egregious as some entries. I wasn't really engaged in the plot itself, but I don't expect much from a mainline Pokemon story. Overall, it's an actual functioning game. Can you believe that? I also agree that this new way of instantly catching Pokemon is so much more fun. Of course, I also use this game with Pokemon Home in the exact same way as Go. I gotta justify the subscription somehow. You know how people have at least one multiplayer game that has a chokehold on their life? Me? The funny Squid Game. I know it released in 2022, yet I'm still chained to it. As in, according to my Switch Year in Review curated by Nintendo themselves, it's officially my top game of 2023. Help. This is my version of League of Legends, and just like League, I love and hate it at the same time. Whenever I need to decompress, I turn to a stressful, competitive game. I see no problem here. This is what Smash Ultimate used to be for me, until I quit that game for good. It's always that one more match mentality that keeps me playing way past my bedtime. Though, to give it credit, it's genuinely fun to play with friends. Especially during Splatfests until we lost to Shiver's team every single time. Yes, I'm also bitter. Splatoon 3 was basically my excuse to stop working and enjoy my time with friends for once. And how can you resist not being a menace every once in a while? As a multiplayer experience, it was endlessly frustrating, but endlessly fun. Maybe one day I'll actually play the story mode. Check back in 2 years. Honestly, I almost forgot to put Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the list. Why? Because I've put off playing it for so long. I can explain. So remember during the Wonder Direct, they were like, you can play online with your friends, kinda. I made the mistake of promising to only play it with my online friends. You know, experience the game together for the first time. This wouldn't be a problem, except different schedules exist, all of us having different priorities in life. All of us failing to initiate. It was a bit short-sighted of me. I asked if I could play it myself as well, and they said it's fine, so I finally caved and played it without them. But I had a valid excuse because I was playing it with my sister, so I still feel guilty. But from what I've played, Wonder is just bursting with creativity that I just love to see. Nintendo's motto is to surprise and delight, and the developers did that in spades. I swear only a few days after release, people were like, just finished the game, 10 out of 10. And I'm like, how? It's been months and I only just beat the first few worlds. But it's also refreshing to have a short, fun adventure among all the gigantic AAA games in 2023. Mario Wonder doesn't absolutely revolutionize 2D Mario, but it definitely felt like a modern step forward. I never thought I'd be talking about Super Mario RPG in 2023. I've actually played the original through my SNES Classic not too long ago. Remember that? I had fun, but I definitely still prefer Paper Mario. To be honest, I thought this game was gonna be forgotten to the sands of time when the Wii U eShop closed down, and I doubted that Square was gonna allow this game on NSO, but lo and behold, during that beautiful June Nintendo Direct, Super Mario RPG would not only come back, but be reimagined from the ground up, finally bringing this classic into the modern era. And the best part? I knew the resellers were gonna be crying in the corner, because they can't sell the original cartridge for exorbitant prices anymore. Good. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is recency bias all the way. It's much easier than the original, given all the quality of life features, but honestly, as someone who already played it recently, I don't need to relive the frustrating parts. Thank you very much. I welcome this streamlined gameplay with open arms. You can tell the love and charm poured into every every single detail that it makes me genuinely happy to play it. It felt like an earnest Nintendo remake with no strings attached. Nothing is lost and everything was gained in this modern adaptation. This is how you do a faithful remake. I'm looking at you, Ilka. Just like everyone else, I waited 6 years for this game. I've never felt this much anticipation for a video game in a long time, other than Breath of the Wild. I will not forgive the breadcrumbs we had from reveal to release, but the wait was so worth it. My love-hate relationship with traditional Zelda games stays complicated, but this is the one type of Zelda game I love more than anything else. I sunk my teeth in so hard, it felt like a formal return to a world I fell in love with in 2017. Seeing the new changes to the environment with my fancy gadgets and tools made the experience so much more fun. I never expected the story to be mind-blowing, but I was thoroughly engaged. The events felt a little more cohesive this time. Definitely a step up from the last game. What really elevated my experience was that I played alongside friends. And you might be thinking, how is that possible? It's single player only. Correct. What I mean is that I played most of this game while on a call with online friends. We explored caves, exchanged rare drop locations, and even watched the cutscenes together. And one of my favorite memories of this year was exploring the terrifying depths for the first time with a friend. The pitch black, no light route version of the depths, aka scary stuff. We were lost, but we were lost together. It was like solving the world's biggest puzzle as a group. And those are the memories I'll hold on for years. Oh, and also the game's gigantic. Pretty much a masterpiece. And some quick honorable mentions for the games I've beaten that were intended for the NSO backlog. Banjo-Kazooie. I have respect for this game, but I never want to play it again. The personality and charm is all there, but if this is what a collectathon is, I'm gonna pass. I'm sorry. Link's Awakening. Cute little adventure that wasn't nearly as annoying as I remembered, but still reinforces my love-hate relationship with traditional Zelda games. Super Mario Bros. 3. A double-edged sword of really loving the wacky and whimsical themes, but hating the unforgiving and sometimes questionable level design, but I can never get too mad at this game. Yoshi's Island. I really wanted to love this game after replaying it, but eventually reached a point where I just ran through each level without even attempting to get the collectibles. And finally, this Lost franchise was integral to this year for me. It was basically my guiding light. Here it is. I'm not kidding. So I may have bought multiple Just Dance games in 2023. Okay, look, before you judge me, I have my reasons. Questionable reasons, but reasons nonetheless. For context, I was deep into Just Dance as a kid and I blame PAX East for refueling my addiction. The convention held a Just Dance 2019 tournament that I wanted to compete in. I knew about it for weeks. Long story short, some miscommunication happened and I wasn't allowed to enter, despite already signing up. It was a tiny bit soul-crushing and may have dampened my first PAX experience, but instead of wallowing in disappointment, I made it my mission to practice Just Dance as much as possible, just so I can win, hopefully, next year's Just Dance tournament. Yes, I'm that petty. Within this vindictive villain arc, I formed a newfound love of Just Dance again. In the beginning of 2023, I was convinced that I was never returning to the series ever again, but a year later, here we are. Is most of the choreography extremely simple? Yes, but it's more about getting my body moving. I assume only sitting behind a computer for hours a day isn't healthy, so I have joined the Just Dance is my workout crowd, and I couldn't be happier. Not to brag, but it also helps that I casually 5-star almost every song, so yay positive reinforcement. I probably take the dance moves way too seriously, but I've learned that dancing is the only form of exercise I actually enjoy, and it all started because I couldn't participate in a Just Dance tournament. I'm gonna keep saying this until March 2024. I am coming for that crown. PAX East 2024. Mark my words. In conclusion, games, and more games. I feel like such a basic Nintendo fan with the list I have, but you know, if the games hit, they hit. Is there a deep meaning to this video? A broader message, if you will? Absolutely not. I was just really passionate about the games I've played. That's it. Could I have squeezed a few more in there? Yep, but still, this list goes to show that even a chronic procrastinator like me can experience a whole range of games in a single year. 2023 had some amazing releases for the general public and myself, and I'm already excited for a couple games coming out next year. Maybe I'll finally tackle the rest of my backlog, is what I keep saying every single year. Oh well.